There's a tense standoff in a suburb of the US city of Minneapolis where police in riot gear are confronting protesters angered by the fatal shooting of a black man. The police chief of Brooklyn Center said 20-year-old Daunte Wright was killed in what he described as an accidental discharge. An officer intended to use a taser on the suspect but pulled her gun instead. The officer has been named as 26-year-old Kim Potter. A state of emergency and an overnight curfew have been imposed. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes reports.
Another tense night. Unrest on the streets of Minneapolis in response to the police killing of another black man. This was already a city on edge. The renewed anger and frustration follows the death of Daunte Wright, a 20-year-old motorist who was shot by a female officer after he was stopped for a minor offence. He'd attempted to escape when the police tried to arrest him on a previous warrant. This body cam footage shows what the police chief said was a fatal mistake.
It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
The swift release of the body cam video appears to have been an attempt by the police to show transparency in the face of immediate criticism. President Joe Biden said he'd watched what he called the graphic footage, and he was waiting for an investigation to determine whether the shooting was an accident. In the meantime, he said people should stay calm.
There is absolutely no justification, none, for looting, no justification for violence. Peaceful protest, understandable. And the fact is that, we do know that the anger, pain, and trauma that exists in the black community in that environment is real. It's serious and it's consequential. But it will not justify violence and or looting.
The Minneapolis trial of Derek Chauvin, the former police officer accused of murdering George Floyd, is moving into its final stages. The latest witness, Mr. Floyd's brother, told the jury about his family.
As my mother, she's no longer with us right now, but that's my oldest brother, George. I miss both of them. I was married. In May 24th, I got married. And my brother was killed May 25th. And my mom died on May 30th. So it's like a bittersweet month because I'm supposed to be happy when that month comes.
In your experience...
Over the next few days, Derek Chauvin's lawyers will present the jury with their case. As the trial winds up, extra security members of the National Guard are being drafted in around the courthouse and across the city as emotions run high. Peter Bowes, BBC News, Los Angeles.
Well, our correspondent Nick Bryan is also in Minneapolis with more.
This was a peaceful protest until about an hour ago, and the police have tried to push back the protesters, firing a lot of tear gas canisters into the air to do so. And all this, of course, is unfolding just a very short distance away, 20 minutes or so from where the trial of Derek Chauvin, the Minneapolis police officer accused of murdering George Floyd, is in its final stages. Once again, we are seeing another confrontation on the streets of America. Once again, we are seeing its angriest fault line, that fault line of race.